Hi guys, Sci-Fi Recapped here. Before we start, warning. Spoilers ahead. Today, I'm gonna explain a 2021 American science fiction and thriller movie called Awake. The movie starts with Jill Adams, a former US Army medic and ex-drug addict, who currently works as a campus security guard through her old friend, named Dr. Murphy. She secretly steals expired drugs from the college science lab and later sells it to Greg, a local drug dealer. For one reason or another, Jill lives separately with her two children. After work, she visits her teenage son, Noah, and her younger daughter, Matilda, who currently stays with their grandmother, Doris. Noah does not seem to like her mom a lot as he shows no interest while talking to her mom, presumably due to her history with drug abuse. While driving, a mysterious global event appears, causing all electronics-related devices to stop working, including cars. Suddenly, they are hit by a black SUV, crashing their car into the lake. Jill and Noah manage to escape from the car, but they can't find their younger daughter. Luckily, Matilda, who was previously drowned, is saved by a police officer. The police say all electrical power is all shut down and they are unable to call the ambulance, so they have to walk. Upon arrival, they discover that the situation has become total chaos. But Jill finds out about a unique event, in which all of the coma patients have suddenly woken up. Not being served, they decide to return to Jill's mom's house. It turns out that after the mysterious event, Jill, Noah, and Doris are unable to sleep, except Matilda. Jill then off to work because she works in the night shift. On the way, she discovers that the whole neighborhood is awake and having a party since the power's out. Jill meets Greg, who asks for more pills and is willing to pay double as the demand increases. She arrives at the campus but can't find anybody inside. When she tries to steal the expired pills, she is caught by the military army and Dr. Murphy. Dr. Murphy explains that people appear to be no longer able to sleep and states that she is starting a hub to find the answers to save humanity, because soon people will suffer from the symptoms of sleep deprivation. She then hands over a piece of paper containing the address of the hub to Brian and leaves. Jill tells Brian that her daughter is able to sleep and he suggests bringing her daughter to the hub as there is currently an old woman at the hub who can also fall asleep and is being studied. Realizing that her daughter may be in trouble, Jill rushes back home, but unable to find her as she is in a church with her grandmother. Brian suddenly appears at their home and urges Jill to take her daughter to the hub, but is rejected. The people in the church finally discover that Matilda is special and they want to sacrifice her, hoping that she would save humanity. The situation becomes heated up as Jill, Noah, and Brian arrive at the church. Brian explains that Jill needs to be taken to the hub immediately so that the cure can be found, but people won't listen and Brian ends up getting shot by an officer. The situation becomes chaotic and Matilda runs away, but is chased by the people. Fortunately, Jill manages to find her daughter who is hiding. With Noah, the family flees to the woods. Noah suggests bringing Matilda to the hub as he found the address in Brian's jacket before, but Jill insists that she cannot be taken there because she does not trust Dr. Murphy and it is unsafe there. He then emphasizes it will be useless and Matilda would not be able to survive without Jill and Noah if they die. Eventually, they agree that they must go to the hub and find the cure. Jill leaves her children outside and sneaks into a car garage to find an old vehicle. Two men in the garage manage to start the car by boosting an old vehicle battery. Suddenly, they spot a military car containing meds passing by and decide to chase it, leaving the old car. Jill manages to steal the car after hiding from two men, picks up Matilda and Noah, and proceeds to the hub. On the way, they discover a crashed car in the middle of the road. The drivers are dead, so Jill steals their gun and continues the journey. They stop at a library to find a map, leaving Matilda who is sleeping in the car. While mapping, suddenly numerous prisoners escape and one of them steals the car with Matilda in it and drives away. Other prisoners threaten Jill and Noah. Jill tries to point the gun at the prisoners and shoots once, but unfortunately, it is her last bullet. Luckily, they are saved by Dodge, the prisoner who stole their car. They stop at a plane wreckage. Dodge manages to find the clothes he needs as he is still wearing a red prisoner suit, while Jill teaches Matilda some basic survival tips. As the only one who is still 100% awake, Jill teaches her daughter to drive. While driving, they are attacked by random people, but manage to escape. They finally arrive at the entrance of the hub. Dodge offers them to help, but is rejected by Jill and she tells him to leave with the car. Jill splits up with her children and sneaks into the hub. She manages to get into the lab in the hub and disguises herself as a lab worker. She finally talks to the other old woman who can sleep, but she is currently in a very ill condition. She plans to free the old woman and asks her to raise Matilda for her because Jill believes that everyone except her and Matilda will die. The old woman states that she should have died months ago. Suddenly, Jill is approached by Dr. Murphy. She says that they haven't found any cure for the disease yet and can only rely on a drug that can buy them time, but it will damage the brain. She also thinks that in the end, everyone is going to die. Desperate, Jill walks out from the lab and sees a pair of flares are being fired by someone. It turns out that Dodge comes back with her children. They are stopped by the soldiers and Matilda tearfully admits that she is able to sleep and willing to be a test subject. The next day, Matilda sees a poor ape whose head had been cut open, revealing its brain. Turns out that the ape is also experiencing a sleep problem, just like humans, due to genetic connection. Jill was right not to trust Dr. Murphy. As soon as she finds out about Matilda's speciality, she is prepared to cut the little girl's head open. When Dr. Murphy and her team are preparing to do a surgery, suddenly the sleep deprivation starts affecting the military crews and the nurses, causing them to hallucinate and randomly firing the gun. For example, one of the crews randomly kicks a pine cone and screams "grenade." The situation in the hub becomes chaotic. Jill hallucinates that Noah is threatening to kill her, while the real Noah is taken away to see if his brain is different from his sister. On the other side, a doctor injects unknown liquid to Dr. Murphy, causing her to die instantly. Turns out that the doctor intentionally did not remove the air from the needle. After escaping from hallucination, Jill comes to rescue Matilda and they find Noah is hallucinating, causing him to cut a wire and electrocute himself. They try to resurrect him using a defibrillator, but fail. The next day, dead bodies are found everywhere in the hub. Noah suddenly wakes up, literally comes back to death, and says that he was dreaming. After several days without sleep, Jill seems to be dying already. Noah tells Jill that she was right about not wanting to go to the hub and says that Matilda and him need her as a mom. At the very last moment, Matilda discovers a sheriff's badge lying on the ground and remembers how she nearly drowned at the beginning of the movie, but the police brought her back to life. She approaches Noah and Jill and figures out the similarity between her, Noah, and the old woman. The three of them had been in a situation where they almost died and managed to come back to life. She thinks that it is the main reason why they could sleep, while the others can't, because they started over. Noah and Matilda then plan to intentionally make her mother in an almost death situation by drown her to the nearby lake and then bring her back to life. Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.